students. Today in this video, we are going to discuss the major challenge of India, that is poverty. Prior to this chapter, we have already covered the economic reforms, and those reforms brought very economic development, fast economic development, as well as various problems. Poverty is one of the problems arise due to economic reforms, or you can say it is a byproduct of economic reforms. So what is this poverty? Poverty is the situation which we can visualize in this pic which is presented on the slide. That is the pathetic condition of a household who is unable to meet his livelihood, that is roti, kapda or makan. So what is the poverty? Poverty is a situation, you can say, in which a person is unable to meet his basic needs, but that is not enough. What is required here is other things other than these three requirements. That means poverty is a state of being underprivileged and deprived of having no choice and social opportunity. In other words, we can say that this means the situation wherein an individual fails to earn income to buy nutritional diet, minimum required cloth, housing, health facilities, clean water, and education. These are the essentials to need a comfortable, a standard, a decent life. That means a healthy living needs all these things. So how to understand this poverty in a better way? For that, we will categorize the poverty into various categories. The first categorization, we take it as rural and urban poverty. So what is this rural poverty? Do you know 80% of the poor population live in rural area? And this 80% of poor population includes agricultural labor, that is those households who do not have any land holdings, but they are involved in agricultural activities. The second is those agricultural labor households do have some small land holdings. That means they're having land holdings which are very, very small and not able to fulfill their basic needs, or you can say that is not enough for their subsistence living. So that is very small. Next category is those categories who are the laborers who are involved in agriculture, but they don't have any kind of land, and they are not involved purely in agriculture, that rather they are involved in other related activities which supports the agriculture. So we call them as non-agricultural rural labor without land holdings. The next category is village artisans and casual labor who are required in the agriculture as well as to meet out the requirements of the people living in the rural area. So they are also very, very poor. Why? Because the machine made goods have overpowered their goods, gave a tough competition, leading to less demand of their goods. And last is tribes. So these are the various categories of rural poverty, or the rural poverty includes these kind of people. Urban poverty is actually the result of rural poverty, because these rural poor, they move in search of jobs in the urban areas and they stay there. They work as rickshaw pullers, wanderers, roadside hawkers, vendors, etc. And even their work is of seasonal nature. I mean, when they find work there, they do there. When they feel that it is an agriculture season, they move back to their villages and they work there, and they again in the off season come back to urban areas, and again they do all these kind of works. So they are the urban poor. Now on this basis of poverty, we further to understand in depth divide the poverty into two categories. That is, the one category includes those people who are basically very poor and they are permanent in nature. They are poor, they are permanent in the nature. Why? Because they are basically poor by structure. I mean, from the root level, they are poor because of the various situations they are in. And they never come across to earn income so that they can fulfill their needs in a better way. So this chronic poor or the chronic poverty, we can also call it as structural poverty. In that category, there are two types of people. One is always poor, the other one is usually poor. Always poor means they are the ones who are extremely poor and never able to earn income up to the poverty line. So their income always remains below poverty line. This is shown with the help of graph as well. Usually poor, by chance, by virtue, they are able to earn income more than the poverty line. So they at occasion, and that is why they are known as usually poor. I mean, generally they remains poor, but at chance they are able to earn more than the income that is decided as poverty line. Next is occasionally poor and churning poor. This is the category of transient poverty. Transient poverty is actually they are not poor always, but at times they keep fluctuating around the poverty line. At times they are poor, at times they are not. So churning poor is exactly the same. Like ups and downs move around the poverty line. Off and on, they are poor and they are not poor. So that category is known as churning poor. And when by chance a person falls below the poverty line and becomes poor, and otherwise in general they remain non-poor, so they are known as, or they are called as, occasionally poor. So this categorization of chronic and transient poverty is done to understand the poverty in a better way. To understand whether the poverty is just the person is below the poverty line, if we say that the person is poor, and on the other hand, the other person who is extremely poor and he is also known as poor. So to understand the extent of poverty, we categorize the poverty into chronic and transient poverty. Now, further to understand the poverty and to measure it in a proper manner, we have developed two scales of poverty. One is absolute poverty and the other one is relative poverty. Absolute poverty is actually head count. That means how many number of people are there who are living below poverty line. We call it as absolute poverty. And if we are calculating it in percentage, then this number in percentage, we call it as head count ratio. So poverty line is measured to know how many people are living below poverty line. So this we can say that the absolute poverty is so and so number. This is also known as head count. And in percentage, if it is calculating, then it becomes head count ratio. The second way of understanding the poverty is relative poverty. Relative poverty is a comparative picture. That means when we try to compare it with two different persons, with two different places, with two different states, with two different countries, then we can say that the person is poor than that particular person, or the person is poor in this country than that country, and so on. So this helps to understand the inequality, presence of inequality. To measure the inequality presence in the economy, we use the relative poverty. So it is a better judge or better measurement to understand the inequality level in the economy. This is measured with the help of Gini coefficient. Now, in all these slides, I have been discussing about poverty, poverty, poverty. The question is, what is this poverty? Poverty is an imaginary line. That's all. It just tells us, it just guides us that how much a person is needed to meet his required level of calories. That means how much a person should intake energy so that he can be comfortable, he can be healthy, he can have physical strength to do all kind of work. So on the basis of the calorie required by a person, income is decided, or you can say per capita income is decided, or you can say per capita expenditure is decided. So keeping this in mind, the imaginary line that demarcates poor and non-poor is known as poverty line. Or you can say it is a cutoff point on the line of distribution that divides the poor and the non-poor. So for this, the indicator or the measurement scale which is used here is per capita income and monthly per capita expenditure. That means the money value of minimum calorie intake by a person, by an individual. So as per the Tendulkar committee, it is rupees 816 in the rural areas and in rupees 1000 in urban area as for 2011 and 12. So that means the calorie required by a person, that is in the rural area, the calorie required is 2400 calories, whereas in urban it is 100 calories. So that much calories, if a person is trying to consume, how much money he needs, that is actually monthly per capita expenditure. Now, thank you. So after this slide, we have come to know what is the meaning of poverty and what are the various aspects of poverty to understand the poverty. In the next video, we will continue with the next topics. Thank you.